Hello, my name is Glenna Harris and I'm from Prosper Canada. Our first module will get us thinking about what it's like to live on a low income in Canada. Poverty costs everyone. It affects our economy, the costs of our social services and healthcare, and people living in poverty experience social, cultural, and political barriers. It also negatively affects one's self-worth, resilience, and the well-being of our communities. In this section, we'll cover some myths and facts about what poverty in Canada is really like. Then, we'll look at some snapshots of different parts of the population who are more likely to experience poverty. And finally, we'll ask you to do a deep dive into one of these parts of the population to consider what issues are affecting them. There are many myths about poverty. In this activity, we're going to explore some of these myths and facts about what poverty is like. I'll read a statement. It might be a myth or a fact. It's your job to figure out which one it is. Having a job isn't necessarily a ticket out of poverty. This is a fact. Canada has one of the highest rates of low-paid workers among industrialized countries. In Canada, 1 in 6 workers, 1 in 5 female workers, and 1 in 10 full-time workers are living on poverty wages. We know that many Canadians are only earning minimum wage, and that doesn't always go far, especially in cities like Toronto or Vancouver with a high cost of living. Even people who have a job may be living below the poverty line. Many people work multiple low-paying or temporary jobs and may find it difficult to manage financially with volatile incomes. Poverty is the fault of the individual. People only have themselves to blame. This is a myth. Causes of poverty can include lack of employment, lack of a living wage, living with a disability, loss of a job, loss of a spouse, living with poor health, and many other causes. 3.4 million Canadians, or 9.5% of the population, are living below the poverty line. There are so many things that make someone vulnerable to poverty. It is not because they are lazy, which is a myth that is often perpetuated. People aren't trying to not work. 1 in 3 Canadians would have financial difficulty if they were to miss their paycheck by 2 weeks. Children living in poverty are more likely to experience a range of negative outcomes. This is a fact. Children living in poverty are more likely to experience a range of negative outcomes, including low academic achievement, health problems, and homelessness. Almost 1 in 10 children in Canada live below the poverty line. Ask yourself, have any of these facts been new or surprising? You might be wondering, what does the poverty line look like? In Canada, the poverty line is calculated using the market basket measure. According to the market basket measure, a household is considered low income if it does not have enough money to purchase a specific basket of goods and services needed to maintain basic needs and a modest standard of living in the community. The market basket measure is indexed to the cost of living in each of 50 communities across Canada. So remember, the actual number will vary depending on the community.
Hello, my name is Marlene Shirato. I'm a CPA and I'm from Prosper Canada. There are many faces to poverty. In Canada, there are some groups that are more vulnerable to poverty, including people with disabilities, single-parent families, Indigenous people, newcomers, and single people aged 45 to 64. We are going to explore poverty more through these multiple lenses. Does any of this surprise you? As you prepare to present financial literacy workshops to community groups, it is important to be aware of the additional challenges these groups face and the impact it may have on their financial well-being. Also, many Canadians face intersecting challenges, experiencing multiple vulnerabilities in their lives. For example, a person who is a recent immigrant to Canada and also lives with a disability will be more at risk.